what's most difficult in this, in all of this, things related to building a product?
Best way to describe that is the learning when you are agency and you think you know how to do products. Like that was for us in the early years. The best way to describe it is like we had people from our company or like from the agency business that were like, hey, we have a product for you. You can now like sell it. And we looked at that from the product perspective because we had two perspectives in the company. And we were like, no, you do not have a product. Like it's a thing that we use for one customer. It's not broad enough as a product, and you have no documentation. And from a very specific tool, let's say like a plugin, but it's if you look at it from a mechanical standpoint, it's a tool. So looking from a very specific tool to getting it to be a very generic tool, that is a very big shift. If you do not know what you're doing, then it's like it feels normal. It's just like that's the requirements this one customer had. Please sell it. And then as a product company, you're going like, but that's one client. Like, do you know how many people use this? Do you know how many people are in the market for that? Should we now get out and check with the market if anybody cares about this product? So I tell you a funny story. We had a product that was multilingual WooCommerce, and that was the biggest idea item when WooCommerce were like voting for what do you want to have next. So we as someone with a multilingual plugin, we were like, yeah, that's a piece of cake. Like
something for us. Yeah, sounds like fun.
Yeah, perfect. We're perfectly suited for that. So we were like, let's simply do the product. So we had the agency team work on the multilingual WooCommerce solution. And then they gave us that. They were like, done. We have one client that kind of like, that's the requirements they had, and we solved that, and now you can use it and sell it as multilingual WooCommerce. And then we were looking at that, and we reached out to other WooCommerce people, to other WooCommerce potential clients, and to people that use this. And at the end, we scrapped all of that because it was not at that space where it solved all the problems that those people had. It was solving like the biggest part that it solved was the where you store your stuff, like in which area in the world is this one product, and how can you sell, like how can you move this to other parts. And that connected with translations was then like, okay, in the French inventory, these are the 5 products. So if you sell those, then you can use them from there. Or if you sell in the French language, then you have like this product 5 times. So it was a connection of those things, and we then like moved it together to a product that simply syncs the inventory amount over all languages. But we didn't have this one solution that solves all multilingual problems for WooCommerce, because that was simply too much of too much requests in too much detail from too much different clients. So it was simply like people were looking for the holy grail of translations of WooCommerce, and we then so the state right now is we have our syncing of stock that's central stock, and we have our and multilingual press has features for WooCommerce built in. So that's the end of the story is we simply have our translation plugin can now also do WooCommerce, and we have a special product for syncing stock, and even that is talked internally to be merged as one thing because it's simply kind of like belongs together. So, but we like shied away from like solving this one big cluster of like, you ask 10 people and you get 11 things that they need to get to multilingual WooCommerce. So we were like, okay, that's not a product. And again, like the starting point was, we have this done for one client, go with it. And the perspective of like having a plugin in the company and creating a plugin out of that, or like creating a product out of that, that's a like for us was a very steep learning